What's good, YouTube? We have an interesting development here today, and that, of course, is going to be the official release of the 3.1 characters. Basically, last night, I thought I could get a chill. I cannot. There is no hope because they're always going to be releasing content. And I just gotta catch up somehow. So, AMF is going to be Fusion and apparently a sword user. I don't even know how we got to this conclusion. When I was doing the 3.0 story quest, it was very clear. It was very clear that you could see a rectifier-like object that she had. You take a look at Mornier, right? Another character similar to her. Rectifier-like unit. But then she's a Broadblade. I don't even know how we came to this conclusion that she's going to be a sword. Now, there's a lot of theory crafting going around, but I want to make this clear to my viewers that I don't look at leaks, okay? Looking at leaks, it doesn't hype you up for the character. If I'm making videos like this, I want to actually be excited when wuwa drops because that's official content. I don't need to look at third-party sources to get the information that I want when it's going to be given to me eventually. That's how I see it. Her being a sword user, I am curious to see what she's going to be. Now, I do know that the new set, it does have ER sword, so it could, if the assumption is correct, if that sword is going to be viable, then maybe she might scale off ER. That's my theory. Now, the next character, I think a lot of people have already speculated this. As it turns out, it is correct. It is correct. He is going to be Spectro. Because if we take a look at this set over here, this is the set that I was talking about. Rite of Gilded Revelation. Dealing basic attack damage. Increases Spectro, stacking up to 3 times. And then casting Liberation, the burst, grants more basic attack damage. I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, there's surely no way he's going to be a gauntlet user, right? Because I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, what if we just had a nice rectifier, a sword, and ideally a sword, because his description was like talking about how bloods, how creating like his gold veins. I didn't get to talk about that in the last video, but like a sword like, and my assumption was that maybe Luke can actually be the sword user or even a Broadblade. That's perfectly fine. But as it turns out, he is Gauntlet. But why? But why? Because in game, I made the choice of getting the homogenizer for Lene. And I was debating on whether or not I should get the Gauntlet. And as it turns out, yes, I should have gotten the Gauntlet because holy crap, that would have made my Zhang so much better. 1. And 2, it's probably going to be effective on Luke too. Right? Since he's going to DPS, he's going to be a DPS. Now, the other thing that I should have thought of was that the set says basic attack damage. And when I think of basic attack damage, it's usually going to be someone that is close with close combat. So the first thought would be 1, a sword user, right? I believe Camellia Cardathia uses basic attack. And then number 2, gauntlet users. Because, well, Zhang Liao, for example, does basic attack damage and does liberation damage. So I am hoping that there is going to be maybe a way, Abyss Surge, or some, alternative weapons that can be used. We don't know anything about their kits yet. Pretty excited to see what it's going to be about. But I know that 3.1, none of us have Astrites. I can't even talk about Cyberpunk anymore because at this point, I just don't want Cyberpunk to be here. It's crazy to think it's already been a year, guys. Cyberpunk is literally going to be, if correction, all right, around 3.1 all the way to 3.3, 3.2, 3.3. We have to see Cyberpunk around now. I'm not sure exactly when the live stream is going to happen. I'm going to assume it's in 2 to 3 weeks, right? The wuwa live stream for 3.1. So we'll definitely get more information on that. And I believe that in the upcoming days, there might be some more news in regards to the upcoming characters, maybe some events. So far, pretty excited. Let's just watch this teaser real quick. Okay, that's a very interesting pose. Maybe we might be able to get something off from this. Ooh. Let's see. We got like some sort of ring thingy going on over here. And I think that's her cape. Her cape has like Space Nova in the back. I don't... We got a heart going on over here. Tacit. Oh, the Tacit mark is right here. Very interesting. We have a heart shape in the top of her chest. And then there's a Tacit mark onto that. Okay. And then I guess this is like Star Torch. Just beautiful overall. Screams Glacio. But his fusion is like, why does the banner never match what the characters are? Now, in the case of Luke, in the case of Xu Yuan, thank God there are characters that are relevant, are correct to what people expect them to be. Let's take a look over here real quick. Oh, what's wrong with my... Okay, cool. At the top. Stop. Chill. Okay. So, his badge ID, okay. The test tubes. The golden veins. Ooh. I was watching a YouTuber and he said that Luke kind of reminded them of like a sort of like a vampire or of that sort. Because of like the red eyes. And when I heard that, I was like, you know, what if Luke was a fusion character? Because it would make sense when they were talking about blood and stuff like that. Blood having like turning into gold, right? Like you can see from his arms. It turns out he's going to be Spectro. Honestly, the good thing about him is the blood golden veins does match with Spectro. So we finally have another character that doesn't fall off from what you expect them to be. I'm curious to see what the test tube is going to be. And once again, maybe he could be like an additional healer per se. Maybe it doesn't have to be like that huge. It could just be like a tiny bit, like add like 1 to 2k, you know, just make sure there's a little bit of sustainability in your team. But primarily looking like going to be a straight DPS here. I'm excited to see if there is going to be any correlation to like these double helix and these test tubes. And yeah, I have to say overall, nice character. And the wings in the back, maybe that is going to be something special that we might learn about. he could fly for all we know, right? Would be interesting. Would be very interesting. We don't even talk about Glacio. I feel like Glacio just EOS'd itself. But you know what? The funny part is the last Glacio character is still one of the strongest character in the game. So Carlotta users, rejoice because that team is broken. When you play it in hologram, that thing is still one of the top teams. So yeah. Hopefully they're going to release some new units. And I really want to see the addition of buff from older units. I hope that's going to be a thing. Now, I made a video previously about how Lene made Chang Li and Zhang Liao back again. I need more characters like this, like liberation buffer, skill buffer, all types of those. Maybe we can get like a nice support because I think it's time that we need one. Shorekeeper can't be holding it all. That is going to be my thoughts for these new 3.1 characters, and maybe we'll see more news in the future. And that's about it. I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Peace out.